Hello everyone, it's a beautiful Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host. Hi lady.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
How
was
doing good?
everything yesterday?
Fine. I came in contact with two young ladies, Nigerians who live in the UK, Zeni and her sister Okocha.
Yes.
They're 17 and 12 years old, and they published books. And the United Kingdom is interested in importing books written by young people in Nigeria, the US also. So they came into Nigeria to encourage other young people like themselves, you know,
You have
to
a young
write,
person here now.
yeah, to write books. So
Okay.
they're organizing workshops and things like that. And their parents, both mom and dad, are supportive of them. They said, we'd like to introduce you to our books, how we write it, the apps that we use. I was really impressed.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah. So okay, we have
Something
candidates.
I saw on the
12
road
and
today.
17
Sha.
and this is 10.
Yeah. So good.
I
Even
saw
here we are
something on
writing
the road
books.
today as I was coming on Ikosi Road. FRSC, as they were trying to stop vehicles, they just jumped on the road. The car was 2 cars ahead of me. I nearly hit the car in front of me. The guy behind me nearly hit me. And I nearly stopped. Like, why? How do you people just stop people on the road like that? For whatever reasons. If you now cause accident and we all hit ourselves, you will run away.
Terrible. That's
Sad.
everything.
We've been applauding the governor of Lagos State, Ambode, for creating those setbacks for people to park properly. But I realized that even though there are setbacks there for you to enter your public transport, people will still wait along the road. Now, like this example of CMD toll gates, there is a proper parking part for the buses. They won't stay there. They would go and stay by.
And that happened, that was like one of the few that they had in the past. It was never used. But now that they've created additional ones, I'm sure once everything is done, it will be implemented. I
The
know what you're
police
talking
was
about.
there. The policemen
They've
were
never
there.
used
They
it.
were making them park. They still
She's
parked
making a
there.
point I'm making, not just an understanding. It has never been used. It's one of the first was there a long time ago. It's never been used. Now that they built additional ones, 3rd Mainland Bridge,
they'll start using
now,
it.
And let me even
they'll start
buttress.
enforcing it now
Because
going
the
forward.
buses are even staying there.
let
The
me-
passengers will not go and wait somewhere else. I'm
Yeah.
like, buses are staying here.
Murayo's point. Just yesterday, because I had an emergency, I had to go see someone in the hospital. As I was descending 3rd Mainland Bridge, you need to see the way Mopo and Lasma, they held a BRT bus driver. Apparently, for the guy, which one is the red one? What's that? Is that the BRT or
It's
the lag
BRT
bus?
now.
The red bus. The driver, they held him down. Apparently, it's possible that he had done some kind of illegal parking. So, and those are the new parking setbacks that they have created. So it's possible that this was because they've been there for a while. Nobody uses them.
So eventually,
Eventually
They'll catch
start
on.
stationing a lot of officials
Anyways,
around.
Is it shoulders that you're calling setbacks?
It's
know,
shoulders.
shoulders.
I was wondering why she was
Should I thank you for rescuing me?
I was wondering where the setback came from. People just flowed with the setback. But she have told us later, not
flowed with
me. The setback.
I was trying to catch up on the gist.
Okay, what's anything?
Yeah, I just we're praying to God for grace to be able to live by a lot of things. That's all. We had an emergency, like I mentioned earlier, so hopefully we're praying that. Yesterday was my friend's husband's birthday, Mr. Tunde Oladipo. Happy birthday, sir. I didn't mention it yesterday. How was your?
Good. It was
Your
just
event?
2 days, nice. I was able to just get away from office stuff. It's good.
We missed you on the show yesterday. Oh.
I missed myself on
We
the
have,
show.
we have to do part 2.
Really?
Because that show was hot.
Yes, I watched part of it. I didn't watch the Let's Talk though.
Oh, I wasn't letting us talk.
All right, let's take a break.
God is watching you.
When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, let's start with the Punch. Can calls emergency meeting over Zamfara, Kaduna killings. No place for violence under my watch, says Buhari. Act heinous. Killers must be punished, says Nasfat. Picture here, Libya repatriates 241 Nigerians to Lagos. 66-year-old man commit suicide over unpaid salaries. Lassa fever. Federal government identifies 59 contacts in Delta and Anambra. Sage committee invites Jibrin over budget padding petitions. Jonathan's campaign funds. EFCC to charge Falaye with money laundering. Gowon meets Buhari over Chibok girls. $2.3 billion NNPC funds. CBN bars 9 banks from Forex market. Corruption costs global economy $2.6 trillion yearly, says Kerry. And 272 firms shut down in 1 year, says man. Lots of stories here.
For the human angle story, Mr. John Ilekwe, a 66-year-old man who worked as a driver in a private company in Lagos, killed himself in Maryland, Maryland, because of his unpaid 5-month salary. He had been finding it difficult to survive without his company paying his salaries, and he took his own life. Okay. Very sad story.
Very story indeed. The Libya story, who read the Libya?
Of 241 Nigerians repatriated.
They were trying to get away to Libya, and something happened.
Get across Libya.
Across
I'm thinking.
Libya to Europe.
Yeah.
What is interesting about Libya right now?
No, they're always...
They are refugees trying to pass into Europe. Yeah.
One of the pictures I saw was almost like, we're back in this country.
Oh, you didn't see the woman wailing?
Yeah, but that's in Nigeria. It is well. Let's move on.
But their lives are more important to us in Nigeria than them losing their lives over the Red Sea.
Moving on to The Nation. CBN sanctions 9 banks for hiding NNPC's $2.27 billion. And there's a breakdown of the banks, what they're owing CBN. Picture here again of tears from Libya, people who were brought back to Lagos. Will deepen anti-graft war, says Buhari. $10.3 billion probe. EFCC to seize Diazani's assets in America. Ex-minister acquired properties in associates' names. Ondo APC chair. I have no preferred candidate, says Keke Meke defends self. And shallow grave found in Lagos pastor's home. Ajimobi Oke's 35 local council development areas. We'll talk about the pastors when a bit later.
It's all over the papers. But you want to talk about the major airline?
Yeah, the major airline.
CBN saying that they are sanctioning that upon the directive August 2015 that the president gave for all NNPC funds to be remitted into the single treasury account, that 9 banks, some of amongst them UBA, Diamond, Sterling, Skybank, First
Fidelity,
Bank,
Keystone,
Keystone,
FCMB,
and Heritage Bank.
Bank.
Those banks were not, they have not been remitting. So because of that, they have suspended any forex sale for those banks. And they said, when the CBN officials came to Lagos for the meeting, when they were talking, this bank said there were other banks that were not named amongst this 9, and they also were part of the people that perpetrated the crime. So CBN has said, actually, it's a crime now.
When you didn't comply with
CBN now said that they are going to investigate the what's it called, the allegations, but for now, let these people face the sanction. Then when they finish paying, they will not tell them further sanction.
I was going to say that it's not a crime because the banks have not refused to pay. They've remitted the monies from the NLNG and NNPC that were paid to them in Naira. But the monies paid to them in dollars because of their inability to access dollars is why they haven't paid. And that they already agreed to let us pay monthly. So CBN is saying, okay, till you finish paying, you can't be then, because the reason they are now in trouble is you're busy selling Forex to your own clients, but you're not remitting our TSA money to our own account. So it's not a crime.
Okay. Right. Who has the Diazani story? Who read that?
No, I did not.
That. Okay, pretty much.
They
picked up some of her properties in America and over $10 billion and some in Switzerland. So that's just it.
When is her trial going to start?
I don't understand. They just keep hearing all these stories. Moving on very quickly to Daily Sun. US to Buhari, how to defeat Boko Haram. I read the article, nothing, they didn't really tell us anything. Masob attacks Father Mbaka, quit priesthood and join politics. Groups, Catholic priest. Picture here of the members of the National Union of Air Transport Employees protesting against the planned concession of airport. Forex, CBN bans 9 banks, we talked about that. Buhari gives Avengers last warning. I'll use force if pushed to the wall, declares president. Shekau badly injured in air raid, says military. And 10,000 police recruits to undergo lie detector test. Right.
I wonder why they
This lie detector test.
Yes.
I read it, the story. They said about 10,000 policemen. They've gone through other trainings.
Why are you laughing? It's important. The objective, according to what
they've gone through other kinds of tests. Then the final one, that whether they like it or not, they'll go through like the kind.
Because they want to employ honest men into the
they want to
police
ensure
force.
you are who you say you are. They are not a
Use their lie detector test.
You're not an
Have
alcoholic.
they used it on the existing policemen?
Please,
sir, under oath, have you ever taken a bribe? They need to start doing that first.
That question does not need, you don't need to ask such a question. The Airports Authority, this is the first, whenever you land in Nigeria, the first thing you see is our airports. And the fact that they want to make a concession of that of the airport is a good thing. I feel that whenever we give things to private organizations, they seem to be managed better than under the government's official rule. So I wonder why they are complaining, the staff are complaining about it. If the issue is based on we might get sacked or that we won't get our entitlements even if we get sacked, then they should address those situations legally, but not that they should complain against the concession
because
as a whole.
It happened
the concession
during
is good.
NEPA time now, when they wanted to privatize it, people were afraid they're going to lose their jobs. And we found that many of them were retained.
40% of them were
retained. So they
should talk about Father Mbaka.
Okay.
They should join my political party.
Where Masob is warning the man
that as it stands today, people keep seeing him going to Asorok. In and
out of Asorok. That they understand.
If God is sending him,
he's going there. I thought you said
he's always going to Ireland. You know, they said he's been
going in and out of Asorok.
I don't like the way you're taking this story.
Wait now. This
Go
is
ahead.
what Masob said.
Okay.
So they are pleading with him to face spiritual work and leave political matters. That because it's either he quits being a pastor and join politics, because right now, you know, his followers will be, would be a bit on the edge.
As a country, we need spiritual help though, and our leaders do need spiritual help. And since we're a very spiritual nation, we spend more time praying than discussing policies. I think we should still let him continue to pray for our president.
Opinion about the issue. If the man has a message for the president, do you think that it should go privately to him, or make it public like he always does?
He doesn't have to make it public, but he can just send a letter or a message. He doesn't have to go there.
Let's just review the papers. Let's not discuss it. Moving on to Vanguard. CBN suspends 9 banks from Forex transactions. We talked about that. Nigerian Labour Congress in Lagos here protesting about workers not being paid, especially in Nasarawa. We need credible information to rescue Chibok girl, says Buhari. NAF raids kill Boko Haram commander. Shekau wounded. How did they know Shekau was wounded? Police discover graves in House of Prophet who chained 28 persons. Buhari condemns the Zamfara killings on Twitter. CBN must review 41 items restricted on Forex market, says the OPS, and world losing 2.6 trillion annually to corruption.
He's always said Zamfara killing, and I'm happy that the president spoke up, please.
On Twitter.
Yeah, it might be Twitter, but at least he spoke up, because they say a lot of times he doesn't say anything. But we didn't mention the fact that NASFAT spoke against this. Yes. And I think that we always castigate we are happy that NASFAT, which is a reputable Muslim body, one of the organizations, have spoken against it, that it is not Islamic. And
they said that blasphemy is not a crime in Nigeria. Now, the only way you can talk about blasphemy is if there's a one religious state. Nigeria is a secular state, and we have multiple religions here. So you cannot say blasphemy is against the law.
And talking about religion, the prophet Emmanuel Adeyemi, we talked about him yesterday, 28 persons that he chased, 27 plus his son, 28. Now, today, they have, yesterday, they uncovered a very shallow grave. He has been linked to, what's it called, ritual killings. So, right now, he's in police custody. And I hope they follow through, because it's not far from us. Ojodu here.
Listen, according to what I read, the man said the people who died, hanging them, he lives in a swampy area. The people who he's treating, some of them who couldn't take treatment, would receive treatment properly, died. And while they died, instead of taking them away, they buried them. That's his own argument. And that's what argument.
He said the hospital, the hospital. Some of them, the hospital have given up hope on them.
Yes.
So they now bring them to him to
Yes,
treat,
yes.
and they die. So why do you have to bury them in your compound?
Do we have a law against churches providing treatment for people? Because this happens around us. There is no law. If there is no law, then there is no disobedience of such law. I can decide to help you that I know how to.
Well,
I know
let's
herbs.
let's not
I
assume
can
there's
take
no
care
law.
of you.
Let's not assume there's no law. I'm sure we'll look at it.
They have
We need
linked
to
it
move on.
to ritual killing. Period.
We need to move on. I want to also pick the story on the 41 items that have been banned, but we'll talk about it. I'm sure it will be in papers maybe tomorrow. That's all we can take on the newspapers. When we return, we discuss the effect of big malls over small-scale businesses. That's on Hot Topics. And later, we discuss the significance of the U.S. Secretary of State's visit to Nigeria. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Now, following the opening of more big malls across the country, the market is said to be experiencing a new purchasing trend, as large numbers of consumers seem to prefer malls to the open market or small shops near their house. Despite the advantages of these malls, people with small-scale businesses are terribly complaining that the existence of malls closer to their shops have done more harm than good to their businesses. Now, what are your thoughts on this? It's your view. Call us on 070-80668014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, pretty much what we're saying in essence is that Yasikira store down the street is not being patronized anymore because people rather go to the big malls to go and buy, to be seen with the big malls, and they just
With the
buy
shopping trolley.
Yes, that kind of thing. And really, the small-scale business are complaining. What are your thoughts on this?
Of course they will complain, because most times you will find that the prices at the big malls are they're cheaper. Why? Because Iyasikira will probably buy from where the big malls are buying at a larger scale. So the farmer who is taking, for instance, maybe chicken to the supermarket close by me, who is buying maybe 1 carton per time because of patronage. The big malls will go and buy 100,000 cartons per time, and so they will get it cheaper, and so their own prices will be cheaper. So most people, like me, using myself as an example, I have shops around me, but I'd rather pick a day in the week that I'll write my shopping list and go to the big malls, because by the time I save 100 naira on each item, I would have saved a lot of money. So of course it's going to affect the small businesses around us, but they need to find creative ways. There's still some things I don't find in the big malls that I go to the small shops, and sometimes, though they're more expensive, but because I'm not finding it anywhere else, I still have to come to you to buy. So they just need to find more creative ways rather than sitting down and say, the big malls are closing us down.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this, Dr.
I read a book a while back called Walmart Effect. That book is to study the effects of Walmart, which is the biggest shopping mall chain worldwide. And the effect of Walmart on the American economy was what the book was about. And when I read the book, the same clamoring that Walmart is shutting down smaller businesses. But then in that same book, research showed that if you innovate and reinvent yourself, you will remain in business despite the big malls. So yes, the big malls have their disadvantages. If you can capitalize on those disadvantages, you would have an edge. Those that cannot stand the stress of big malls would come and meet you, and if you focus on the items they don't have there, then you would also have a market. We can't fight growth. We can't fight progress. So we must decide that are we going to keep on butting heads and doing the same thing that is not working, or will change and improve on what is on ground.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on this?
You know me. You know me, I'm a businesswoman, and systems, I think, is the winning formula. We can decide to say that we would lament as small business owners, or we can take the bull by the horn. There are so many platforms. There are platforms that are beyond walls, which is the online platform, where you can go and your business, they don't have any borders. You can supply anywhere in the world. When Jumoke was talking about cheaper at the mall, on some items, yes. But the truth is that if you look at it, you know, if you look at, because I do a lot of comparison, a lot of people leave the big malls. They come to my store to buy designer perfumes. They buy skincare products because I am getting it cheaper. Because overhead cost in that big mall is too huge, you know, than the overhead cost that I would pay in my little store. So I think for me, business owners, rather than sit down and say that, oh, what's it called, the market, the big malls are taking all the market, let us begin to think about ways to take our business beyond that vicinity where we are operating from. Then let us make sure that, you see, when it comes to specialization, when you specialize on something and you are perfect at it, it doesn't matter even if you are inside a hole, they will come and look for you there, because they know that if Murayo is not available, I cannot get this done. So it is more, it's now putting the work on Innovation. To continue to make sure that you are on top of your game at that one field that you have chosen.
Another thing I wanted to point out here, because you mentioned systems and you mentioned progress. These are two key things I wanted to hop on. Now, in other developed worlds, when these kind of things happen, like, one of the problems I have in this system we have is that everybody's about me, myself, and I. You have a house on the main street and you want to have a shop. Everybody wants to have me, 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 me. Can't we have local governments who design a proper plan for us, where we have strip malls? This is where all your, there are no more, don't just open supermarkets on the road. This is where you need to create for the malls. Now, consolidate. Meaning that every Yasikira, Yatamodu, Yataofik, everybody, you don't have, can you all just come together? So, you know what, I'll supply you this. Let us all support Yasikira, and we're also hanging them. We're all supplying Yasikira, where everybody now, you are all going to be suppliers of certain products. We're all going to make money. But instead of us have small, 100 shops around.
You've raised the major issue, Murayo.
That's the issue of planning, because abroad you don't see because
housing, sorry, Tokwe, housing in itself, there's no proper planning. If you go to Magodo, as big as Magodo is, there's no playground for children. There's no, like,
they sold it.
You understand?
So I was going to hit the point. Hit the point of the big malls would always be there. They're not going anywhere soon. So instead of the little guys complaining, come together and find your own little malls within your communities, where it's not just all the 100 stores. Have maybe 5, 6 big malls within your communities where you're all supporting. That way, the Mr. Jumoke will not have to travel all the way to the big mall, because you've all consolidated and we can get the products in your own stores.
I think that one issue we must raise is the quality of wage paid to the staff. Now, if you run your own business, you are Tokwe Makodige Incorporated with my small shop in front of my house. The business is all about me. A bigger mall would employ more people. However, how well are they paid? How well are they paid? These are the things, the conditions, sanitation and all that of that environment. The small businesses are not going to go anywhere if they continue to innovate in their own little space. But their innovation is capped. You are not employing any other person. The malls that we're complaining about right now.
It's about them.
That's what you
The malls we're complaining about right now have employed a lot of people. So they are a solution to the problem in our society.
Biodo, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please go ahead.
What I've seen with these small shops there, it has been an issue for us. And the way they do things is not well organized. There was a day I went to ShopRite at Surulere. We are buying stuff from there. So, and someone was misbehaving in the mall. So I have to call a security to come and send the persons out. So I was like, I'm buying things from you guys. So you don't have to treat me this way. They say, guys, the way you're doing it's not proper. So I felt the bigger malls are more preferable than these small shops around us. So that's what I think.
Okay. When you talk about, you said they will not employ. I beg to differ. Because if, for instance, you divest from just operating from a small store and you're operating online. I ordered small chops for my son's birthday, And the guy was telling me that from Thursday, they are so busy that they don't even have time. You know, his dispatch he has dispatch all over Lagos supplying. So you want to tell me that that person is not employing labor? He's employing labor, but you might look at it and see and
on
just
a smaller
yes,
scale.
and, yes,
on a smaller scale.
Yes, he might not employ as much as the shopping malls would, but you cannot tell me that he cannot expand beyond 1 or 2 staff.
But I've studied them. Now, in the big shopping center, you have the big international shopping mall. They have their prices cheaper. But then you now have stores. If you find most of those stores shut down eventually.
Yes.
Because they come there, the rent is expensive. They are looking at the traffic coming into the shopping center. They have to cover their costs, their salaries and everything. Their prices are a little bit more expensive than you, UWA or Tokwe Incorporated. You will find that all of us will now go into the big mall and buy the cheaper things and still go back to our local UWA and Tokwe because they're cheaper than the shops within that shopping center. So you still have an advantage if you do your own research and your own work right.
Mariah, you raised a very important point, and these are lessons that we need to learn so that we're not just talking about the issues going on. Merging together, businesses merging together. We have a deficit of collaboration. You say, even the Bible says that one would kill 1,000. When you come together,
You kill 10,000.
you kill 10,000. Yes. So when you have one person struggling to make ₦1 per day, if you cooperate with other people, you will make much more money. And we need to look towards that line. You need to be willing to serve.
Let me take this call from Eniola. Eniola, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
The effect of these big malls on small shops is having let me say, a negative effect. Because here in my even in shop right here, because of bread, because of 300 naira bread, you see people queuing, like the queue will be long. And meanwhile, you can get the bread of 200 naira cheaper outside because of I don't know, maybe it's because of the quality or because of the 10 naira or 20 naira difference.
No, it's not hot.
Thank you very much.
To say something.
It's
happening on personal. Okay, this makes me feel good that I'm in a shopping mall. A lot of people do that. They go to ShopRite and they go to shopping malls rather, and they go there and they would.
May I take
the bread?
Can I finish my point, please? They will go there and they will not feel the need to want to price you down. But you come to a small store and you now be looking down on the people, and that thing I think is wrong. A lot of buyers do that. You cannot grow a small business with that kind of attitude. So that is why it's also difficult for them to have a partnership, because that personal individual, you need to be sure of who you are going into partnership with.
Kuti Malik says, frankly speaking, the malls pay taxes and most open market people don't pay taxes. Mayoa says the malls serve less than 5% of the population. The small shops are the last mile for the most consumers. Kuti says, also know that everyone will not buy from the malls and everyone won't buy everything in the malls. Alaba says, I quite agree, big malls are killing small businesses. Government should regulate them far away from small businesses. And the last one, Mayoa says, both have their place and preferences of their customers vary. As such, both have their niche markets and customers.
Fantastic. Just like you said, Walmart. If you go inside Walmart, everybody, the beauty section is there, the kids section is there, everybody. So everybody, the beautician, if you're a beautician in your own little swamp, merge with Siyasikera, who does food, merge with Babas. You'll be surprised. You have a big Walmart in your neighborhood and everybody will come there. They will not go to the big mall elsewhere. That's what I'm saying.
Is helped on character.
Anyway,
individual.
Nigerians, we don't like collaborating.
No, I love it.
We don't like collaborating.
I love it, but integrity is
when we return, let's discuss. The U.S. Secretary came to visit us in Nigeria. What was his visit about, and what are the benefits or even disadvantage of what he came to do? Let's stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
welcome back. Now, the United States, United States Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry, was in Nigeria for a 2-day visit and continuation of his tour in Africa, and he had a discussion with the president on the existing bilateral agreements between the U.S. and Nigeria. Boko Haram and human rights and other issues were on the front burner. Now, what exactly was the significance of the United States Secretary visiting Nigeria? Joining us on the show is the political and public affairs analyst, Mr. Victor Ikeji. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, so anytime these U.S. people come to our country, we get, hey, what do they want again? Oh, you know, 1 second they're supporting us on Boko Haram. Next thing, you're saying, oh, they all sort of arguments left, right, and center. What are your thoughts on John Kerry's visit to Nigeria, generally?
And check out being killed for the 9th time, just as John Kerry came into the country.
Anyway, of course, there are a lot of burning issues in Nigeria. First of all, let me maybe do a little bit of throwback, you know, in the sense that Nigeria happens to be the most populous black nation in the world. In fact, it is said that every 4 black men, 1 is a Nigerian. And then secondly, Nigeria happens to be the most populous country in Africa as well. And we cannot also, you know, wish away the fact that Nigeria also is a repository of enormous oil reserve. And of course, you know, this, you know, positions Nigeria in a very, very strategic, you know, position in the international sphere. So coming to Nigeria, of course, we shouldn't be surprised about that. Nigeria is a very, very important player in global politics.
Okay. Now, your thoughts. He went to see the emir, the sultan, and they had a meeting. And I was really wondering, because in my own lifetime, I've not seen where the Secretary of State actually went there to have that kind of conversation. What are your thoughts on the intention of that conversation?
In fact, this has thrown a lot of debates, you know, in the Nigerian political sphere. I mean, asking why the Secretary of State coming to Nigeria and then going to Sokoto, so to speak. And, you know, for some of us who are very keen observers, you know, of course, events, not just in Nigeria, but, you know, within the international context, you will realize that, you know, the northern part of Nigeria, as at today, whether we like it or not, you know, has, you know, a very, very serious effect with what happens within the international system vis-a-vis the Boko Haram issue. And one thing that drives, you know, foreign relations, or at the core of every foreign, you know, relations is, you know, the domestic interest. And if you listen to Americans' election, the 2 topical issues that are discussed is, 1, the economy, and the second one is security. In fact, security happened to maybe even take, you know, a frontal role than even, you know, economy. And then let's come back to Nigeria and the northern Nigeria in particular. You realize the Boko Haram issue, okay, whether, you know, we like it or not, also has some kind of effect in American society, bearing the fact that, you know, the northern region, as of today, okay, has become a festering spot for the grooming of terrorists. And you agree with me that, you know, in fact, Boko Haram happened to be the most dangerous terrorist group in the world. I mean, people might be surprised to hear this. Even more dangerous than ISIS, more dangerous than Al-Qaeda, more dangerous than Al-Shabaab and the rest of it. So,
why is that?
Well, first of all, okay, let's look at the statistics. Boko Haram has killed more people than any other terrorist group in the world. Within just, yes, over 30,000, just within 5 years. You know, with all the hue and cry about ISIS and the rest of it, how many, you know, people, even like Al-Qaeda, how many people have lost their lives? So Boko Haram is the most dangerous, you know, terrorist group in the world. In fact, for whatever ISIS are doing now, Boko Haram has done, you know, even worse. Okay? So we cannot, you know, shy away from the fact that whatever happens in northern Nigeria, definitely will be of concern to American government.
So you believe that his visit is more about security than about the economy? Because I think Nigerians are more worried about what's our economy going to look like, the impact of our trade treaties with the US, and the fact that we don't have dollars.
That's a very strategic question, and I have pondered over that. To an extent, I will agree that his visit is more, in fact, America is more concerned about maybe security, yes. Yeah. Because I have also pondered over maybe the question that why is Kerry not visiting Niger Delta, where, as we speak, the Avengers and other militant groups, yes.
So it's about their own interest.
So I think it's about their own interest, and that is to say that perhaps Nigerian oil is not really of interest to them anymore.
Well, that's a speculation. We're not sure about that. Well, but let me take this call from Daniel. Daniel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Sorry, just I don't know. I hope you guys are still discussing the other topics.
Go ahead. Just like it's your view.
Yeah. So I just want to say a few things. One of the things I want to talk about is one of the things is price. I think some people feel that the price of things determines the quality of the product, and so they tend to go for big malls who have products that have higher prices than the smaller ones, because they feel the smaller ones don't have quality products because the prices are kind of low, and so they prefer to go for the bigger one.
Right.
And then another thing is quality of the goods and services they get from both malls. Do you feel that if I go for a bigger mall, I get bigger services? For instance, hotel services. It will be difficult to find people filled up in a smaller hotel than the larger one, because they feel I'll get better quality in a hotel.
Bigger hotel.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for your comments.
Two questions in one. It would seem like it is obvious why the Americans will be worried about the security of Nigerians. Having the huge refugee problem that we have coming out of Syria, they're worried. And we're already seeing such with our IDP camps and hunger and a few children dying, But also, we've had Boko Haram, for 7 years, since July 28, 2009, when they started the war against the federal government. And first, Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State at the time, refused to declare them as a terrorist organization. Also, America has come out to say that we want to help you. During the Chibok saga, we want to help you. They've given us some equipment, but we're still having this issue. So how excited should Nigerians be with John Kerry's second visit in recent times?
Okay. Well, would I really say excited? But however we look at it, I think it's a welcome development, Americans visit, because, no matter how you want to dislike America, you cannot wish away the fact that America is the world's superpower. And America never pretends, in playing the role of a
big brother.
Not even big brother. The self-assigned world police. Yes, the self-assigned world police. So let's come back to Kerry's visit to Nigeria, and then particularly to the northern part.
Can I pause you for a second? Sorry, I have a call. I don't want to miss this call. Yakub, are you still there? Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Let's come back to Kerry's visit to Nigeria, and particularly the northern part of the country. And then we may also want to ask, why Sokoto? Why not Bauchi?
Or
Yobe, So that is to say that, of course, Sokoto, even though some people might assume that Kaduna is the political headquarters of, northern Nigeria, but most of the strategic or crucial decisions that are taken, that affects the northern Nigeria are taken right in the caliphate. So maybe that explains. Yes, that explains why.
But he did mention the issue of corruption. John Kerry did harp on the fact that continued U.S. support to help them get money back to the Nigerian system. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. His visit in Nigeria, he also met the president, Buhari, and amongst various other issues they discussed is the counterterrorism effort. They mentioned, they discussed the economy. Yeah. Of course, we know what is happening in Nigerian economy today. And then thirdly, the anti-corruption effort.
Yeah.
And lastly, of course, the human rights question. We know America, wherever they travel, they go with, two things in their hands. One is their agenda, and then the second one is always the human rights issues.
Let me take Ebuka from Kaduna. I don't want to lose that call. Ebuka?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
I would like to contribute both on this topic and the previous one, the last one, right?
Yes.
But first, we should always bear in mind that wherever the Americans visit, they are always what's in for us. Do you understand? It is always the what's in for us, what do they stand to benefit. Do you get? They tend to look at the impact of any nation's activity on their own people. And why somebody will say, why Sokoto? Sokoto, that part of the country have always been a vantage point right from the colonial era.
Yes.
You know, so don't forget. So it has always been a point of access into the country. I don't know, I can't say that's my own point anyway, that on this issue. So I think Kerry's visit to the tropical state must have been for their own interest. So I don't think Nigeria should get excited about that. But I was like, what are they in for? What do they want to get? You get. That is one. On the impact of the big malls on the smaller businesses, I must tell you that myself as a person, I think I like that in those small markets, in the shop, neighborhood and all that, because I've had experiences in the shopping malls. I've gone to a shopping mall in Kano, Grand Square, and their sets of 3 crowns have expired by a month or 2. That is 1. 2, I've gone to another shopping mall, a big shopping mall in Kano. Their Marvel skim milk is expiring on the 8th of this month. I didn't check until midnight. That is 2. 3, ShopRite, their prices are stupidly outrageous. I am a market person. I know how to buy things in the market, and I know how to check prices. Then I've compared prices of all these things and compared prices of the ones in the market. The market now even are cheaper, the same quality. You go to ShopRite or Mall, and they'll say, hey, no, our own is imported from heaven.
Thank you, Buka from Kaduna. Yes, yeah, you're doing yes.
We're not going to break, yes?
Oh yeah, let's go. Commercial break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. Now let's yes.
Yeah, the fight against Boko Haram, a lot of people say that it is more political than actually it. That's why they do not take Boko Haram so much as a terrorist group, like they would take ISIL or what's it called,
ISIS
or Al-Shabaab and all that, Al-Qaeda. Now, what are your takes on that? That the fact that Boko Haram is more political, and even if this man visits, because when they were about to rescue the Chibok girls, the Americans sent their troop. They were ready, and they came back and said, "You know what?
We're not doing it again."
So it tells us Nigerians that there's more politics being played than actual what's called
Okay, I'll let you answer that. Let me take this call from Reverend Dominic. Are you there?
Good morning.
Long time, sir. Are you still in this country?
You abandoned us.
I did.
Welcome, sir. Please go ahead.
You know what? I'm not much interested the Secretary of the American State coming here. But I'm interested if America is also interested in Nigerian safety. How come that let's leave the present previous government? They said they didn't do things well. That's Jonathan's government. But this government have shown character. Why is it today that somebody will fling our children in our face in Nigeria, that he hold them ransom and abuse all of us, and went to hide either somewhere in China or in Niger or in Nigeria, and we cannot find them? Can't America help us to solve this issue? For this embarrassment to go out for once for all. They have the satellite. Why is he hiding people in Ghana or in Chad or in Nigeria or in Cameroon? We cannot see them. And someone will come and, some it on our face like carrots and go back to hide. This shame is getting out of hand.
So do you think it's political?
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Connecting.
Please, I don't want us to get too sentimental or emotional with this issue. At the beginning, I did mention that, international relations is actually anchored on domestic interest, whether we like it or not.
True, very true.
And then I also mentioned that perhaps one of the main reasons why Kerry is in Nigeria is Americans' concern for his own domestic security. And I mentioned that, Boko Haram or that area of Nigeria is becoming a festering spot for the grooming of terrorists.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, what is the ultimate aim of this group? Is to export
terrorists.
These terrorists. And their number one target is United States of America. So I think America is becoming very worrisome. And we should also remember that, in fact, the American political discourse today is very much centered around insecurity and then also the
so you don't think there's any political link in this Boko Haram fight?
I will come to that, So I was saying that American discourse today in relation to, security is that, the government, Obama's government allowed ISIS to fester. And today, see what it has become. Exactly. So perhaps they don't want to make the same mistake in Nigeria.
With Boko Haram.
So that's why they want to nip it in the bud, even though it's coming quite late. Yes, even though it's coming quite late, but they still feel they have, an open window or an opportunity.
Let me take this call from Laja. Laja from Ikorodu. Laja Martins, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Old callers. Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the show, sir. Hello. Go ahead.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Long time. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to have you. Please go ahead.
Yes, I am. Okay. First of all, Kerry going to Kerry going to Sokoto area, going to see the Sultan, stems from the fact that the Northern Caliphate, they all look up to the Sultan.
Yeah.
They all look up to Sultan. And there is a sort of local rivalry between the Borno people, between the eastern side and the western side of the northern area of the country. But let's leave that as it is. I want to talk about this Chibok girl. I believe Kerry should have addressed that seriously. A lot of women are traumatized. I cannot imagine seeing my daughter on the telly for the past 2 years. She's not been around, and some people are taking hold of her. I think this should be seriously addressed. And there is a clue. I believe there is a politics being played about this girl. I am sorry, but it's a very traumatizing thing. You are all women there. And I know you women are closer to your children than we men. We can make children as many as we can. That's the short of it. But let us be serious about it. We must rescue this girl.
Thank you very much. Let's take some tweets, please.
Yeah,
Reverend
says, is the Sultan of Sokoto proxy to the president? Why will John Kerry visit him instead of Shehu of Borno? Tariq Shul says, it's about time Nigeria stops hosting people from other countries until things get better. there's hunger in the land of Buhari. Tam says, John Kerry visit has nothing to offer Nigeria anything. I wish we were colonized by the French government. Things would have been better by now. Otumba Michael says, the Zamfara killings, the president thinks the best and only way to react is on Twitter.
You were saying that America, they want to nip it in the bud. But you see, does it tell you that even they themselves, they did not take it seriously when it started 7 years ago?
Yes, no.
Because, so you've not answered the question of how political is this Boko Haram fight?
The question of being political, I have addressed it.
Okay, tell me.
No, we should not be emotional.
Yes, let's not be emotional, about it. How does it directly affect the American society? Earlier, okay, they had perhaps viewed the Boko Haram menace as a domestic issue. But they are beginning to wake up to the fact that, I mean, this is not, just a domestic, affair for Nigerians. It's, with time, it's going to have a spiral of effect over, American society. Perhaps that's why they have decided to wake up, to their responsibility.
And there was someone in the
what
article.
About within Nigeria?
There was someone in the article
Okay, you're talking about the political aspect within Nigeria.
I was going to connect that with the story I read in the article today, saying that Modu Sheriff actually was, he actually started Boko Haram, not directly, but he allowed them, he allowed insecurity to fester in his own state. It was as a former governor of Borno. When they started this issue of insecurity amongst, he actually never nipped it in the bud. So he allowed them to actually go ahead with that campaign, the jihadist campaign.
And then he's the one who also sent out that journalist who went on exile to Dubai.
I can assure you, for every militancy that has, risen up in Nigeria, somehow politicians have...
There's a political undertone.
Yes, politicians have a hand in it.
Yeah.
Starting from Niger Delta, the Niger Delta militants were actually those that were used by politicians to, of course,
to win elections.
Yes, to engender their political ambitions.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's the same thing that happened. And after the elections, what happened? They were all left to their fates. And then all those arms that they, acquired, they decided that they put it to good use. So that's the same thing that happened in... So even though, of course, a lot of people blame it on Modi Sheriff, of course, we cannot also...
Silence is
exonerate.
All right, thank you very much,
that
sir.
note.
I think thank you very much. Appreciate Mr. Ikeji for being on our show. That's all we can take on the show today. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye.